going on, guys? You're listening to a brand new episode of Speaking Wrestling with Elvis Arroyo, and as always, I am your host, Elvis Arroyo, and this is episode 47, and on this episode, we are covering Raw, AEW, NXT, going to give you guys what to watch, also going to give you guys my MVPs and floppers for the week, so stick around for that. But before we get started, I want to give you a reminder, guys, to subscribe on our YouTube page. You can find us over at Speaking Wrestling. You can also follow this page on Twitter at Speaking Wrestle and on Instagram at Speaking Wrestling, guys. Alright, guys, so let's get started with what went down this past weekend. NXT UK Takeover, Blackpool 2 went down, and I gotta say, guys, another tremendous takeover from the NXT UK brand. I really enjoyed this show. Matchups were great. The triple threat women's NXT UK matchup was amazing. I really love that match. And Piper Niven is one of my new favorite superstars, so I really enjoyed that match. Of course, Kylie Ray pulled up the victory there, retaining the NXT UK Women's Championship. This was a great match. The NXT UK Tag Team Championships were defended in a fatal four-way ladder match, guys. Oh my God, this brought back so much memories of like 1999, early 2000s, those TLCs, those table matches. Although there was not many tables matches being broken on this one, it was all ladders. This was one of the best tag team ladder matches. Usually, guys, you've seen those tag team matches that are ladders, and it's just all spot fest and all gearing up for big giant spots, ladders breaking, tables breaking, a lot of just waiting around for someone to jump off a ladder. This one, it had a little bit of that. Of course, it's a ladder match, and you got to have those big, gigantic stunts. But I really feel that everyone in this match, all four teams, were really going for the titles, and it made this match really fun to watch because it really seemed like anybody could have walked away with those tag team championships. Really enjoy that match. Tremendous. You guys definitely got to go watch it if you haven't watched it. And of course, Walter defending the NXT UK Championship. No surprise, comes up with the victory there, defending against Joe Coffey there. Great stuff there. I really enjoy this show all the way. There's other great matchups there. Tyler Bate was in action. Trent Seven was in action. This was a great pay-per-view, guys. And of course, at the very end, the Imperium beatdown from the Undisputed Era make their appearance here in Blackpool as they gear up for Worlds Collide, as it will be the Undisputed Era taking on Imperium. But all in all, guys, great show from NXT UK. I love their shows. Gotta go watch more of them. I don't keep up with the weekly programming, and I gotta be honest with that. But these NXT UK takeovers that they put on are amazing. Definitely go back and watch those. All right, guys, and let's get to it, to Monday Night Raw. Another great episode of Monday Night Raw, and that's kind of been the case for Monday Night Raw the past several weeks. Like I said, finishing up the year strong and definitely coming into the new year very strong. Raw has been such an enjoyable show to watch. Again, it was a chore. It was such a drag the last couple of years, but man, it's really turned the corner now. I really think that either Paul Heyman influence or the talent just stepping up, or maybe this is really like they're letting the cuffs go a little bit on the guys, because I got to say that the intensity, the desire, the urgency for some of these storylines and characters to get over is there. And I got to say the matchups are great. We've seen a lot of great matchups. I mean, Andrade's been putting on some great performance there, being the United States champion there. We got the tag team division finally coming along. The AOP looking dominant with Seth Rollins now. Seth Rollins, the Monday Night Messiah, Samoa Joe, and Kevin Owens putting on a hell of a match this past week with the six-man tag. First ever fist fight, whatever the fuck that was. But really, it was just a big hardcore match, almost kind of just like last man standing. But in the very end, the team of Seth Rollins and the AOP get the victory, but the assist of Buddy Murphy, because Buddy Murphy earlier in the night lost once again to Aleister Black. Definitely Aleister Black has got Buddy Murphy's number here. Buddy Murphy feeling the blues here, stayed out there the whole entire night, just sitting out there, literally out there on the mat, posted up against the barricade, and came in to assist what was a no disqualification, really just, again, hardcore fist fight match, and assisted Seth Rollins. And the biggest news out of this is Seth Rollins and the AOP are welcoming a new member to their group. And I got to say that this kind of felt a little bit kind of like, Dark Order, a little bit of what's going on in the Inner Circle, but a little bit better? Question mark? I mean, it's up to you, debatable to say. I'm not saying I'm not going to make any comparisons, but it really got that feel that I think that's the way you want to, have someone come into the group, and a very natural feel. And once again, now we see Seth Rollins mentoring someone in Buddy Murphy. If that's the case here, I like this. I like this faction here. What's really turned out, to be this pairing of Seth Rollins and the AOP look to be kind of like this, a reincarnation of the Shield, or just Seth Rollins with, another J&J security with the AOP. But now you add in a Buddy Murphy, and it kind of, adds a little new element to this core with 4 individuals. Now we know the history of a 4-man faction, of course, Evolution, and of course the 4 Horsemen. But we now got this interesting formation of Buddy Murphy, who's this young upstart, and Seth Rollins, who's a proven veteran in the WWE. He's a former WWE Universal Champion, and the AOP, former WWE Raw Tag Team Champions. I mean, this looks to be the start of a formation of the new powerhouse on Monday Night Raw. And I got to say, I love this. I enjoy this. I like this pairing, because Buddy Murphy losing to, Aleister Black, having nowhere else to go, but maybe now under the tutelage of Seth Rollins, he's going to definitely learn something. And I think that's great. And if this leads to maybe Buddy Murphy turning on Seth down the road, I think that'd be great. Buddy Murphy makes a great babyface. We've seen him have great matches in the past with, Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns over on SmackDown before coming over to Monday Night Raw. But again, he's got all the tools. He's got all the athleticism. He can cut a great promo. He's a hell of a character already. So why not? I love this move. This is great for Buddy Murphy. And I love the fact that the upper management has, took notice in him, and to put him in this position and put to trust that Buddy Murphy is going to be the guy that Seth Rollins is going to be passing on, some of that, main event rub over to Buddy Murphy. And maybe by the end of the year, we might see Buddy Murphy, be up there in the upper echelon with, the Universal Champions and the WWE Champions. Who knows? But again, I really love the ending to Monday Night Raw. It was a great week. Once again, we saw Drew McIntyre put on a hell of a performance to open up the Monday Night Raw, going up against AJ Styles and Randy Orton in a great triple threat match. This is the way you want to start off a good Monday Night Raw. I enjoyed this match very well. But again, the steam and momentum right now is on Drew McIntyre as he picks up the victory over those 2 veterans going into the Royal Rumble. Good stuff there. Once again, Brock Lesnar having the moment of the night, a moment of the week, I got to say, with R-Truth coming out here and interrupting Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar and having one of the most entertaining segments, probably of the year so far. And it came with a Brock Lesnar being out there. Of all people out there, the most entertaining segment thus far for WWE was a Brock Lesnar segment. Good stuff there. Women's division is heating up as Asuka and Becky Lynch sign the contract, seal the deal for their matchup coming up at the Royal Rumble. Asuka spitting the green mist on Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch afterwards cutting a promo. Very personal, very in-your-face camera shot there after she rubbed that mist off her eyes there. Had a, still struggling to get her off, but I think we got the picture there. She's, coming after Asuka for that. Good matchup there. Look, I got to say, Monday Night Raw has been heating up over on SmackDown. Great stuff there with the Bray Wyatt, Daniel Bryan storyline. We also got the Otis and Mandy stuff there. NXT definitely was a great show this week, guys. I got to say, with the reunion of DIY, Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, reforming DIY, getting themselves into the Dusty Rhodes Classic. Also, Pete Dunne and Matt Riddle advance into their tournament as they pick up a victory here. Alex Shelley and Kushida, Alex Shelley's debut match didn't come up great with the victory here as they lose to the young grizzled veterans. Great matchup there nonetheless. And triple threat, number 1 contender, winner gets Angel Garza at Worlds Collide in a few weeks. Leo Rush, Tyler Breeze, Isaiah Swerve Scott, great matchup, definitely good stuff here. Isaiah Scott coming up with the victory here. He'll be meeting Angel Garza in a few weeks at Worlds Collide, great stuff there. Also Keith Lee cutting a hell of a promo open up the night, but being jumped by the Undisputed Era. He meets up with Roderick Strong in a few weeks for the North American Championship. And the main event, guys, main event promoted all week. The Women's Battle Royal winner faces Rhea Ripley at NXT Portland, and a very entertaining Battle Royal. Could have gone down the stretch, any woman for herself here. Shayna Baszler making a return. Shelly Martinez making her in-ring return to NXT here, competing in this great stuff there. And I got to say, Io Shirai was tremendous in here. Candice LeRae. And the winner in the very end comes down to Bianca Belair eliminating Io Shirai in the very end. She's going to meet Rhea Ripley in what's going to be a very hard-hitting, great matchup, them two. at NXT Portland for the NXT Women's Championship. All right, guys, and let's get into AEW Dynamite. This week, AEW Dynamite was live from the University of Miami in Miami, Florida, as it was Bash at the Beach Part 1. Yes, Part 1, Week 2 will be broadcasted from the Jericho Cruise Part 2. So let's get into Week 1 of Bash on the Beach. This was a tremendous show to kick off the show. A fatal four-way tag team match. The winner will get a tag team opportunity next week against SCU here. Again, all spot fest, all dives, all I got to say about that. But the very end, Adam Page and Kenny Omega come up with the victory here. They will be taking on SCU next week for the AEW Tag Team Championships. We also saw Cody Rhodes once again with some more promo time. It seems like Cody Rhodes is the only one that gets on-air promo time, in-ring time, to cut a very lengthy promo ongoing about the MJF storyline, running down MJF. Really not necessary because we know what's going to happen. And a very awkward, weird promo from Joey Janela backstage. I know they're trying to get him over. They're trying to be cutesy with him, but I mean, put him on the show. That's what I'm saying. It's like these backstage vignettes of just him isn't enough for the crowd to really, get to know him anymore. Nightmare Collective, Mel and Brandy Rhodes took on Shida and Chris Statlander, and what was such a debacle match. Really, no fanfare from the crowd in this. Not even getting any heat. Brandy, who's supposed to be getting heat. I mean, no heat. That's when you know nobody really cares about this segment. And that's all I got to say about that. Once again, really just, pulling that women's division down. Dark Order had a great segment. I got to say, these backstage vignettes, these promos of the Dark Order, I like the production. I can definitely tell the story that they're trying to tell of who they're trying to recruit. Kenny Omega, Adam Page. They're going after the jobber guys that aren't getting any victories right now. And also, I got to say, they're really kind of teasing that now there's a new leader to the Dark Order. The rumors are out there that Matt Hardy is wrapping up his contract with WWE and rumored to be the Dark Order leader. We'll see if that really comes into fruition. We'll also talk about AEW signings towards the end of the show, so stick around for that. But I like the Dark Order's presentation. I'm not complaining about them. I really wish they got a little bit more over in the beginning, because I feel now they're really working their way up and trying to get themselves over and it's a really hard battle when the way they've been presented. And of course, we all know the segment with those punches being thrown at the end last year. So again, really hurt them. Now they're trying to build up their credit, but having someone like Matt Hardy could bring, credibility to the Dark Order there. Jon Moxley took on Sammy Guevara in a one-on-one matchup. Great matchup here. A good opportunity for Sammy Guevara. I really like this kid. Good stuff here from Jon Moxley. I really like this match. But again, it's really what came afterwards. Jon Moxley submitting Sammy Guevara. But afterwards, lights go off. What do you know? Once again, and here he is, the Inner Circle. They all jump Moxley. And again, no help from anybody. He gets, a spike in the eye from Chris Jericho, from Jericho's jacket. I don't really like what went on in the ring, but the promo afterwards from Jericho backstage was a really good one on Moxley. MJF was out here, again, being part of a 6-man tag team match with the Butcher and the Blade taking on Diamond Dallas Page, QT Marshall, and Dustin Rhodes. This match, it was what it was. It was a fun matchup, but again, you hate to see Butcher and the Blade being stuck in a match like this and backing up MJF, and really having to go out there and sell for guys like QT Marshall, who is not over at all. Diamond Dallas Page, getting in some of the fun of AEW, doing some dives and doing some jumps off the top rope. Really unnecessary for a guy his size and his age, really, right now. Same thing with QT Marshall. This guy should not be doing, lucha libre stunts and dives, but again, it's AEW. And you've got to do it. So, again, this was another just spot fest. Again, MJF rose up QT Marshall in the very end. But if you kept track of this match, QT Marshall was not the legal man. I think he was just the fall guy to take the pinfall here. This match was all over the place. Didn't really make sense at the end. You take it for what it is. If you love flips and dives and a dozen Canadian destroyers, then you like matches like this. And in the main event, Darby Allin taking on Pac in what was a great matchup here. The winner will take on the winner of Moxley and Guevara. Then the winner will take on Chris Jericho. Again, Moxley's already the number one contender, but, there's other people still coming up for the title. Once again, this whole win and loss system and keeping track of who the number one contender gets all confusing as the weeks go on and on. But this was a good matchup from Allin and Pac here. Great match here, but Pac coming up with the victory here towards the end and letting Jon Moxley know that he is now the number one contender, that being because of Jon Moxley's eye injury early in the night. But to end the night, Moxley comes out and lets Pac know that he will be at next week's AEW Dynamite on the cruise and defend his number one contendership for the AEW Championship against Chris Jericho. Can't wait for that. Should be a great environment. Should be an interesting show next week. So we'll look forward to part 2 of AEW Dynamite's Bash at the Beach. Literally, Bash at the Beach as they set for sail on the Jericho Cruise. All right, guys, and it is now time for What to Watch segment of the week. This is where I give you guys what to watch. Of course, MLW Fusion and NWA Powerrr are available for free. New episodes on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe and check out those new episodes. They are great. MLW doing great stuff right now. You got Timothy Thatcher right now putting on some tremendous matches right now. You have, of course, Brian Pillman Jr. rising up. Maybe looking up to be the number one contender, a future star in the company. You got Jacob 5-2 still the MLW World Heavyweight Champion. Great stuff there. I love it. Make also appearances from Conan. Selena De La Renta is also there. Great stuff. If you love that stuff, go check it out. MLW Fusion and NWA Powerrr. Great stuff there. I love what they're doing right now with Tim Storm. Tim Storm is cutting some hell promos right now as a babyface, still going after the NWA World Heavyweight Champion, Nick Aldis. And Nick Aldis right now telling that story. He's got his friends, can't really trust them though. I don't know if anybody can trust Camilla right now. She hasn't spoke, but I really love the dynamic of the story there. And also the TV title tournament still taking place. Good stuff there. The action's there. Trevor Murdoch also advancing there. Eli Drake still cutting a hell of amazing promos each week. And guys, Stu Bennett, a great color commentary, has great chemistry with Joe Galli. I really love the dynamic between those two guys. And NWA, tremendous show, guys. I say it every week. Check it out if you've been missing out. All right, guys, and let's get into some news this week. Yes, some news this week coming from Speaking Wrestling. Big news of the week, guys, was the most prominent free agent in professional wrestling out there was Marty Scurll. Everybody was awaiting where he was going to sign, where he was going to go. Many fingers were pointing that the inevitable was going to be that he would wind up with AEW, seeing that he was part of the Bullet Club with the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega and part of the Elite. And it seemed like he was going to sign, but Marty Scurll, a man of wisdom, re-signs with Ring of Honor for a multi-year contract, also giving him privileges of creative in Ring of Honor and also granting him permission to work for the NWA and New Japan Wrestling. I think it's a really good deal, a smart deal, but once again raises questions. Why a big name and why a name so close to the Elite, the Young Bucks, close to, the foundation of AEW, didn't found himself signing with AEW? Really raises the question of what's going on in AEW, because you see other big names out there like a Killer Cross or Ryback who, have mentioned that they are, coming back. They're looking for bookings, could end up anywhere. And AEW seems to be a great place that they might go to. Also, Tessa Blanchard there. Jacob Fatu recently just re-signed with MLW for a multi-year deal, locking him up there. Again, big names out there floating around, not making their way over to AEW right away. So, I'm not putting any conspiracies out there, guys, not to be any tinfoil hat podcast. Shout out to the tinfoil hat podcast, though. But again, guys, AEW is a great place for talent to go and make their name. They're be on national television. But, they're not going over there. We've got also, Scarlett Bordeaux, John Morrison, superstars like that had a great opportunity and could have signed with AEW, but missed the boat. CM Punk was another big name that looked to be going over to AEW, didn't make his way over there. So again, just raises some question, guys, just putting it out there, guys. All right, guys, and it's time for our performers and floppers of the week, guys. This is where I give you guys my MVPs and floppers for the week. My performer for the week, guys, it's got to be R-Truth. R-Truth and Brock Lesnar this past Monday night segment of the week. Good stuff there. Had me laughing. And again, Brock at the very end speaking and, telling R-Truth that's what's up. Got a great reaction from the crowd. Very entertaining. That was definitely a great moment in two superstars going out there and doing what they do best and entertaining the hell of a crowd, creating a moment that's going to live on forever for those two guys, because I think everybody will remember that moment. So that's my MVP for the week, R-Truth once again. And my flopper for the week, guys, it's Nightmare Collective. Once again, yeah, things still not looking so good for them. All right, guys, that's going to do it for another episode of Speaking Wrestling. This was episode 47. Thank you guys so much. You can subscribe and listen to this podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts. We're also available on YouTube, so go ahead and subscribe there. Looking us up at Speaking Wrestling. You can also subscribe and follow this podcast on our Twitter at Speaking Wrestle and on Instagram at Speaking Wrestling, guys. Thank you so much for another episode. You guys have a great wrestling week, and we'll do it again next week for episode 48. See you next time.